Hi guys, this is JP Bushey with the little Facebook page that could, the Bushey Angle, and another really good website and page on Facebook, Angling Authority. And we're here on the Bay of Quinte at probably one of my most successful and favorite places to stay, Merlin Park Resort, right in the town of Picton. And it's the first week in December, and we're up here walleye fishing like so many other guys do. This is a famous destination, and I wanted to talk to you really quickly about a trolling device that will help you catch more fish, and it'll help you have more fun catching fish. And basically what it is are inline planer boards. And just like some of the other devices that trolling fishermen are used to using, the inline planer board is designed, I don't know if you can see that, with a wedge cut out of it to plane your lure or plane your presentation. Probably one of the most popular is, say, the Dipsy Diver. Dipsy Diver is basically just a round plastic disc that's designed to carry your lure downward and sometimes even out to the side from your boat. And the Dipsy Diver has a release clip on it that allows it to move through the water not flat, not perpendicular, but on an angle. And a planer board is designed to do the exact same thing. Basically, the physics of it are really, really simple. They've got a wedge cut out of them. One wedge is angled one way, the other wedge is angled the other way. And these offshore boards are actually labeled left and right. So they're pretty foolproof. As your boat travels through the water, this left side wedge is going to carry your presentation out to this side of the boat. Your right side wedge is going to carry your presentation out to that side of the boat. And that's basically all an inline planer board is a floating plastic wedge. I've been using planer boards for many, many, many years. As you can probably tell, offshore tackle are my favorite ones. They're domestically made. They're made by a good group of guys, a family-run company, which to me is important. High quality components, and they'll last a lifetime. This is basically just a floating piece of plastic that's highly visible. You're never going to lose them. It's not like spending money on a crankbait or on a downrigger ball or something that you risk losing. I've had these literally for close to 15 years. My two sons are very young right now, but they're probably going to wind up inheriting these off their dad. They're going to last a lifetime. So why do you need a planer board? What makes them effective? Right off the bat, being able to spread your lines away from your boat has a couple of advantages. Number one is there's a very viable theory in fishing, particularly in clear water. Bay of Quinte here is very clear. Particularly in shallow water, there's a theory that the boat spooks the fish away from the path of the boat. And having your lines spread out to the side basically helps fish that scatter run into your lures. Doesn't matter if it's a crawler harness, a crankbait, a spoon, a minnow bait, whatever. Secondly, having your lines and your lures spread far apart and far away from each other allows you to make very tight, very aggressive turns. Up here at Merlin Park on the Bay of Quinte, we've been battling a lot of floating ice for the last couple of days, and it's been a huge advantage for us to be able to whip around in these little open water pockets where we're marking and catching fish and get back on them. And if you're running flat lines, etc., right tight to the boat, you're going to have problems, especially with lots of line out tangling. With a planer board, that completely eliminates that. You can be very aggressive when you're running a board way out to the left and way out to the right. Number two, they're an outstanding debris catcher. And you're probably thinking, well, what does that have to do with trolling? It has a lot to do with trolling. Anytime you're dealing with lots of stuff on the surface of the water, doesn't matter if it's pine needles, leaves, sticks, chopped up weeds from boat traffic, any of that stuff is going to make its way down your line, and it's going to stop when it hits this board. It's not going to find its way all the way down to your lure and foul it up. Huge advantage. Huge advantage. Probably one of the undersung benefits of an inline board is as a weed catcher. Excellent for that. As you can see, they're fairly simple. They've got the wedge cut out of them like we talked about. offshore tackle has been known for many, many years, since I was a little kid, for making really, really high quality fishing releases. Downrigger releases, mast board releases, inline planer board releases, and all these are two little pinch pads with rubber grippers that clamp on your line after you've let out however much you want based on how deep or how shallow you want your presentation to run. And then you just basically plunk them over the side and let them cut out however far or however close you want to let them. They're fairly dependent on boat speed. The slower you travel, the wider of a spread you can get. The quicker you move, those boards are going to, based on simple physics and centrifugal force, you're going to suck closer to the boat. Both have their time and place. Probably the biggest treat or the biggest benefit to using boards, in my opinion, is I call them trolling bobbers. There is absolutely nothing better than trolling along, whether it's through the waves or in glassy, calm conditions especially, and just watching that board get hammered by a nice fish, whether it's a lake trout, a walleye. I've caught a lot of giant pike on inline planer boards, smallmouth bass, rainbows, you name it. A very, very visual experience for fishermen, whether they're new fishermen or experienced. It never gets old. I gotta tell you, watching that board get hammered is really, really, really visual. And it's something that you can help people get excited about fishing with. Like, I'm here with Grant from Angling Authority, and he's had a lot of fun the last couple of days. Board trolling is fairly new to him, and he's seen that board get smacked a couple of times now, whether it's whipping through an outside turn and then just getting jammed back, or just slowly drifting through flat, calm water and having a fish pull it back. A very, very visual and a very, very exciting way to fish. When you look at how much these cost, how long they last, and what they can do for you as a troller, they're an absolute godsend as far as enjoyment and efficiency. And I can probably tell you there's a very, very, very short list of fishing tackle on the market that will pay for itself and offer instant results. An inline trolling board absolutely will. Very, very wise investment if you do any amount of trolling. And don't think that they're just for big water. Yes, we're on Eastern Lake Ontario right now. Yes, I use them on Georgian Bay and elsewhere. Inland lakes, smaller bodies of water. Doesn't always have to be walleye or salmon and trout. Bass like them, pike like them, musky fishermen love them. Very, very versatile, very fun to fish with, and something that'll just make you a better troller. Plain and simple. So I'd urge you to definitely give them a try.